Thunder startled the forest awake. Arin stumbled, clutching a pouch of herbs, mud splattering his boots. Lightning cracked above towering trees. In every breath, magic lingered like the scent of wild violets. Faster, the whispers will fade. His older sister Lyra's words echoed, but Arin was alone tonight. He ducked beneath a mossy arch, heart pounding. The air here was different, threaded with voices, speaking a language he couldn't understand, but felt pulsing in his bones. A golden light flickered at the grove's center, bathing a warped oak, roots spiraling outward like claws. Arin's fingers ached as he stepped closer. The whispers grew sharper. "Do you seek knowledge, Arin of Willow's Edge?" The voice was not human, clear, melodic, older than the mountain wind. He gasped. From the roots emerged a figure swathed in leaves and starry motes, the keeper of the Fae. Her eyes shimmered green as dusk. "I only wish to heal," Arin stammered, the grove swirling around him. The keeper's smile was small, almost sad. "Healing and knowing must walk together. There is a darkness stirring beyond the 7 peaks. You have heard its whisper." Arin shook, remembering dreams thick with shadow and fire. "But I'm just a herbalist. Laurel warriors would. You alone hear the language of the wood." Her words cracked like breaking twigs. "Without you, even the oldest magic will fall silent." His doubts pressed close, but something in the grove, the soft, relentless hope braided through the song of leaves, pulled Arin forward. He swallowed hard. "What must I do?" A faint smile. "Trust the whispering grove. Let it show you the path. But beware, the darkness will test you with your deepest fear." As the keeper faded into mist, Arin realized the whispers had changed. Now, he could almost make out their meaning. Every sense sharpened. For the first time, instead of fleeing from the forest's mysteries, Arin stepped in, ready to listen. Rain tapped through the trees as Arin crept deeper, following the silver glow that now floated just ahead. Roots curled at his ankles, gently nudging him along the mossy path. Every so often he caught a word in the whispers. Trust, darkness, courage. Suddenly a branch snapped behind him. Arin spun, hands clutching his herb pouch. "Show yourself," he called, voice quivering. A small, iridescent shape emerged from behind a fern, no bigger than a squirrel, with dragonfly wings and sharp gold eyes. "Put that pouch away, fool," it hissed. "I'm not here for your weeds." Arin blinked. What are you?" The creature zipped closer, wings beating urgency into the air. "Name's Yarrow. Gremlin to some, guide to the lucky few." Its tone softened. "The grove called for me. Looks like you're making quite a mess of your prophecy already." Arin flushed, embarrassment prickling his skin. "I don't understand any of this." The keeper said. Yarrow cut in. "The keeper doesn't choose lightly. You heard the grove, didn't you?" He hovered, looking Arin up and down. "That means you've got talent. Not many do." Arin hesitated, watching the creature's wings shimmer. Despite himself, hope flickered. "Can you help me?" There's darkness coming." Yarrow's face grew grave. "Shadows seeping from the Heartwood. Quiet now, but not for long. You can't fight it alone. Not yet. Not until you learn what the grove really wants to show you." A curl of wind lifted leaves, swirling runes beneath Arin's feet. Whispered words became clearer. "Seek the stone. Past the Briarveil." Arin steeled himself. "Then we find the Briarveil. What's a stone to do with prophecies and darkness?" Yarrow grinned, sharp teeth gleaming. "Everything and nothing. But that's the fun of it." Together, man and gremlin slipped into the deepening twilight, bonds of friendship beginning to entwine as the forest closed behind them. High above, a shadow leered, unseen but ever watchful as Arin's journey truly began. Dawn broke in ribbons of mist. Arin brushed sleep from gritty eyes, his back sore where twisted roots had served as a makeshift bed. Yarrow was already buzzing about, tugging at wild mushrooms. "Put some pep in your step, slowpoke. Briarveil doesn't wait." Arin grunted, shouldering his satchel and trailing after the gremlin. The forest changed as they moved. Shrubs gave way to tangles of roses, thorns gleaming with silver sap. The air grew thick, saturated with the chorus of distant whispers. He paused as a pathway emerged, choked by towering thorny hedges. A shimmering haze marked its entrance. The Briarveil. Yarrow hovered beside him. "Listen close. This is where the grove tests whether you listen with your heart, not just your ears." A hush fell as Arin approached the veil. The whispers sharpened, words cutting through the fog. "Remember, forgive." "Forgive? What does that mean?" He reached toward the thorns, which recoiled as if stung by his touch. From nowhere came a low, familiar voice, one Arin hadn't heard in years. "You always ran from your fears, little brother." Arin staggered, memories flooding. A brother's laughter, then sorrow, then a night of storm and blame. He clenched his fists. "It wasn't my fault you fell." Yarrow's eyes flashed. "Grove makes you face what you'd rather bury. You want through, you must let go." Tears stung Arin's eyes. For a moment, he felt the Grove's sadness join his own, mingling and softening it. "I forgive you," he whispered to the memory, "and I forgive myself." The Briarveil parted, thorns framing a new path crowned by morning sunlight. Arin's voice grew steadier. "Let's go. The stone is waiting." As they stepped forward, Yarrow nudged him. "Not bad, hero. The hardest chains are the ones inside." Arin's chest felt lighter. Behind them, the Briarveil knit closed, secrets healed and hidden, while ahead the ancient forest beckoned, promising stranger mysteries and greater challenges yet. The path twisted into a valley riddled with pillars of pale stone, their surfaces crawling with moss and glowing runes. The air shimmered strangely. Time felt both slow and fast, and the whispers swelled until they seemed to come from inside Arin himself. Yarrow landed on his shoulder, wings twitching. "We're close, but so are the Nightkin. Keep your wits, human." Arin swallowed, glancing around for signs of movement. "Nightkin?" Yarrow's hiss was a whistling squeak. Shadows with teeth, born from old magic gone rotten, greedy for the life in things. They advanced cautiously between the pillars. Just ahead, a raised altar cradled a stone, a heart-shaped crystal veined with gold, pulsating faintly. That was what the Grove wanted him to find. Suddenly, a shape slipped from behind a pillar. A Nightkin, all twisting darkness and glinting claws. Its eyes locked on Arin, and a cold fear crept through him. "Back away, or I," Arin started, fumbling in his pouch. The Nightkin laughed, soundless and sadistic. Yarrow whipped forward, spitting a bolt of electric blue light. The Nightkin snarled and darted away, circling. "You've got Grove power, Arin. Use it." Arin closed his eyes, drawing a shaky breath. He reached down deep into the living pulse he'd felt since entering the Grove. The ancient language of trees and roots bubbled up in his mind, words formed of feeling and memory. He spoke, and the vines at his feet surged upward, wrapping around the Nightkin and holding it fast. He opened his eyes and gasped, watching nature herself answer his plea. The Nightkin shrieked and dissolved into smoke. Arin shook, half in awe and half in terror, panting. "Did I do that?" Yarrow grinned. "Yeah, you did. The Grove's with you. Remember that." Arin stepped up to the crystal heart, its glow now steady. As his fingers brushed its surface, warmth flooded him. Visions flashed, mountains burning, rivers black as pitch, the Grove in shadow. Then hope, a vibrant tapestry, edges sewn together by courage and sacrifice. Blinking, he stared at Yarrow. "What's next?" Yarrow pointed to a tunnel winding past the pillars. "The tapestry's frayed, and something's tearing at the threads. Next stop, Dawnspire, where the fate of forests is decided." The whispers faded to a hopeful hush as Arin and Yarrow disappeared into the beckoning dark, the heartstone warm and heavy in Arin's grip. The tunnel spat them out atop a mountain ridge, sunlight spilling amber on razor grass and knotty pines. Beyond, the ancient Dawnspire obelisk of crystal and stone cast against a sky veined with storm clouds. Villagers gathered nearby, their faces pinched with worry, eyes flickering to the growing bruise on the horizon. Yarrow hovered near Arin's ear, his voice low. "Dawnspires, where the Fae renew the forest's magic. If darkness breaks the ritual, every glade and river suffers." Arin hesitated, surveying the crowd. He spotted a group of armored Laurel elves, proud and distrustful, barring the path to the tower. In front, a silver-haired warrior glared at Arin's approach. "State your purpose, human." Arin tried to steady his nerves. "I carry the Heartstone. The Keeper sent me." The Grove whispers of a coming blight. Murmurs swept the gathering. The elf's blue eyes narrowed. "Why trust you? This place is for the gifted, not scared villagers fleeing nightmares." Yarrow bristled. "He's more than any of you think. Step aside." Arin forced himself to look the warrior in the eye. "Let me prove myself. If I fail, I'll leave, and you can guard Dawnspire however you wish." A tense silence followed, broken only by the wind's harried whispers. Finally, the elves parted. As Arin passed, the warrior muttered, "Pray your whispers are true. We cannot afford another mistake." Inside the tower, gold light danced over walls inscribed with living vines. The Fey elders stood waiting, air thick with expectation. The heartstone pulsed in Arin's palm, matching the rhythm of the grove. One elder, cloaked in green flame, spoke, "Do you know what must be done?" Arin's mouth was dry. He searched the grove's song within him, and found courage. "The tapestry is fraying. I can heal it if I learn how, but I'll need every scrap of knowledge you keep here, and your help." A soft ripple of approval washed through the chamber. The elder's eyes brightened. The test is not just about strength, but willingness to learn. Under the ancient runes, Arin realized he was no longer stumbling in fear, but stepping forward, voice clear. The grove, the fae, even the wary elves watched, silently hopeful as he knelt before the crystal altar and listened, heart wide open to the tapestry's first whispers of direction. Arin pressed the heartstone to the altar, feeling the pulse of ancient roots racing through him. Magic swirled, flaring between his fingers as the runes on the walls bloomed with emerald light. He heard whispers, not just in the air, but far below, even beneath stone, deep in the veins of earth. One of the Fey elders, her hair like falling waterfalls, stepped close. "Look past what is broken. Find what yet connects us all." Yarrow perched at the edge of the altar, nodding encouragingly. "This part's all about focus. Let the grove show you." Arin closed his eyes and reached inward. The grove's song rose, wild and intricate, a tapestry woven of friendships, regrets, hopes, and roots. Yet a jagged tear ran through it, blackening the lush weave. The image filled Arin's mind, an old gnarled tree at the center of the forest, its trunk split and hollowing, darkness leaking out. Suddenly a voice cut through the vision, raw and desperate, a child's plea. "Don't let it take me." Arin's eyes snapped open. The elders exchanged worried glances. The lead elder asked, "What did you see?" Arin steadied his breath. "The blight is feeding on something lost. A wounded tree, ancient and powerful, and there's a spirit trapped inside." A ripple of alarm shook the room. A warrior from the crowd spoke sharply, "The Heartwood! Its loss would doom us all." Yarrow's wings buzzed. "Then we know our road to the Heartwood." Arin nodded, heart pounding. For the first time, the villagers and Fae didn't look past him. They looked to him. Still frightened, but determined, he turned to the elders. "Can you show us the way?" The elder nodded, touching Arin's brow. Memories poured into his mind, trails lit by moonflowers, secret words only the grove could teach, and warnings of shadows that wore familiar faces. Arin drew in a shaking breath. "I'm ready." As they left Dawnspire, the Fae and even a few Laeral elves joined them, united by the promise in Arin's voice. The journey ahead would lead to the very heart of the forest's magic, where darkness lay in wait and hope flickered bravely on. The path to Heartwood grew stranger with every step. Trees towered like cathedral spires, their leaves whispering warnings. Arin understood just well enough to be afraid. The company, now elves, fae, and a few brave villagers, traveled quietly, each step shadowed by the blackening blight that wormed through the roots beneath them. At twilight, the ground trembled. Black thorns erupted from the soil, forming a tangled barrier. The party halted. Yarrow shot Arin a worried look. "The darkness is quickening. Only you can unbind this. It's listening for you." Arin stepped forward as the others tensed, some muttering doubts. He placed his palm on a thorn. Instantly, visions flashed. Moments from Arin's childhood, the night he lost his brother, old regrets, voices of fear and shame. This pulsed, feeding on old pain. He spoke softly, not just for those behind him, but to the forest itself. "You're not alone in your pain. Let us bear it with you." The thorns shuddered and slowly withdrew. The elves stared in awe. A young Laeral archer murmured. He spoke to it, like they were kin. Beyond the barrier, their path darkened. Shadowy figures darted between ancient trunks. One stepped into the open. A woman draped in tattered robes, eyes like mirrors, reflecting Arin's deepest fears. The company drew weapons, but Arin raised a hand. The woman's voice was like wind through dead branches. "Why do you come, child of the grove? This heart is closed to you." Arin swallowed, but didn't falter. "We come to heal, not to conquer. Please, let us help." She tilted her head, mournful and sly. "Then you must face what you most fear. Only then can you touch the heart of this wood." The shadows thickened, swirling between Arin and the wounded Heartwood visible at the path's end. Even Yarrow's wings were still. Arin glanced at those who had followed him, afraid but trusting. He straightened his shoulders, voice low but steady. "We'll do it together." The company pressed on, not simply following Arin now, but believing in him. The forest's song wavered, despair and hope tangled tight as they stepped into the shadow controlling the very soul of the realm. The world turned bleak as the shadows closed around them. The light thinned to a ghostly blue, every sound was muffled by fear. Arin led the company, heart hammering, the heartstone growing heavier with each step. The source of the blight was close, gnawing at the edge of every thought. A clearing opened ahead. The wounded Heartwood loomed, half dead, its trunk split wide and leaking black sap. The woman in tatters blocked the way, her eyes swirling with shadow. She spoke, voice echoing with old wounds. "Who among you dares open what was broken by betrayal?" Yarrow whispered fiercely. "This is her test, Arin. Speak only truth." Arin took a trembling breath. "I do. I've betrayed, I've failed, but I won't turn away from it. The grove's pain is mine too." Shadows rushed him. Memories turned monstrous. His brother's voice blaming him, villagers shouting accusations, the faces of his companions twisted in disappointment. Arin flinched but held his ground. Refusing to look away, he gasped. "I accept my failures. I welcome their lessons. I choose to heal, not hide." For a heartbeat, the shadows screamed, writhing between the roots. But then light blossomed from the heartstone. The woman's eyes cleared, her form softening. "You have given what the wood needed most, honesty." The blight recoiled. The Heartwood's bark began to mend, veins of green and gold stitching closed wounds. The company watched in awe as healing swept through every branch and leaf. Yet as cracks faded, a chilling roar echoed from the hollow trunk. A monstrous wraith burst forth, tall as the trees, formed of pure shadow, eyes hateful and wild. It lashed at the company, scattering elves and fae like leaves in wind. Yarrow cried, "Arin, it's the darkness that feeds on hopelessness. Don't let it." Arin reached for the grove with all his strength, feeling every friend's hope bolstering his heart. For the first time, whispers responded not just to him, but to all. The voices of elves, fae, villagers chanting words of unity, echoing through the woods. The wraith hesitated, flickering. But the final battle had begun. The fate of the forest and all who believed in it hung by the thinnest thread. A battle not just for skill, but for the courage to hope together. The wraith's shadow swept through the clearing, cold and vengeful. Arin stood before it, all thoughts of running gone. Behind him, the company tried to regroup, some firing arrows of light, others chanting fae words, their magic buffeting the monster. But it fed on their fear, looming larger with every strike. Yarrow streaked overhead, desperate. "Arin, the Heartstone! Channel us through it! You have to let everyone's hope in!" Arin closed his eyes and dropped to his knees before the Heartwood. His own doubts clawed at him, but he pressed the Heartstone to the roots and listened, really listened. Hundreds of whispers rose, threads of hope and love tangled with pain, yet never broken. With trembling hands, he invited those threads in, opening the grove's magic to the courage of all its children. The Heartstone blazed with green fire. Behind him, the laurel archer called out, "We believe in you, Arin," for the grove. A chorus followed. Elves, fae, villagers, shouting their faith, weaving their voices with Arin's. The wraith shimmered, uncertain. It struck, but where its claws swung, vines erupted, woven from the unity Arin had called upon. For every wound the shadow dealt, hope poured in, mending what once was broken. Still, the wraith drew darkness from the deepest cracks, towering in fury. It focused on Arin, whispering, mocking, "You will never be enough. Alone you failed. Alone you will fall." Arin's hands shook, but he stood facing the specter. "I was alone once, but not now, and not ever again." He reached back, feeling the touch of Yarrow perching on his shoulder, the support of every friend, and channeled it straight into the earth. Light and shadow battled, thunderous in the glade. Finally, as the dawn broke, exposing wounds long hidden, the wraith staggered. But it was not yet vanquished. Its form clung to the tallest branches, still hungry, boiling with centuries of bitterness. "Hold on," Yarrow said, voice ragged with awe and fear. "This last test is yours alone, Arin. The grove's heart must forgive what broke it, or the darkness returns forever." Everyone watched, breaths held, as Arin stepped toward the quivering wraith, still rooted in his own regrets and the forest's pain. The conclusion awaited. One last act of healing. One last chance at restoration. Arin moved through the hush of dawn, every eye in the clearing fixed on him. Before him, the wraith writhed, coiled around the highest limbs, still feeding on the oldest hurt. Each heartbeat echoed with all he had seen. Loss, blame, the lingering ache that kept forest and boy alike from healing. The grove's language poured through his mind, not just words but feelings, memories woven from everyone who stood with him. Arin looked up at the wraith. You are what remains when forgiveness is denied. But I won't hide from you any longer. He pressed his palm to the Heartwood's wounded trunk, feeling its pain, its memory of betrayal and sorrow. The Heartstone thrummed. In his mind, he reached for the source. The night his brother had fallen, when Arin's fear had driven him away from everyone who tried to reach him. The wraith shuddered, its taunts faltering, feeding on the truth as much as the hurt. He spoke, voice breaking yet clear. We can mourn, we can hurt, but we cannot stay broken forever. I forgive your pain, I forgive myself. A hush fell. The grove itself seemed to breathe in, leaves trembling with expectation. Roots pulsed at Arin's feet, and radiant green light burst from the Heartstone. The wraith convulsed, shape unraveling, bitterness dissolving like fog in sunlight. For a blink, the wraith's features flickered into those of a child. Lost, frightened, yearning for a hand to hold. Arin stretched his arms wide. Let us be whole again. The light surged, weaving through every tree, every villager, elf and fae. Shadows retreated from the forest, balm spreading from the Heartwood. Everywhere, color and life awakened. Flowers unfurled, creatures sang, scars healed. Yarrow fluttered up, awe soft in his voice. You did it, Arin, not by fighting, but forgiving. The keeper of the fae appeared at the grove's edge, her smile gleaming with relief. You have given the forest a new song. You are more than a healer now. You are one with the Whispering Grove. Arin, shaky but steadfast, smiled as friends and allies gathered close. We did this, together. The grove's whispers changed, no longer warnings or laments, but a melody of hope. Arin felt peace unfurling in root and heart alike, a promise that light can mend even what darkness cannot erase. As dawn spilled golden across the healing woods and the magical tapestry wove itself anew, Arin looked to the future, ready at last to listen and to lead.